Good evening. Welcome and good evening. My name is Colin Greer. I chair the board of the Lark, and as you can see, the chair is a lot less rickety than it used to be. David Huang said a little earlier in the evening to me that for this evening, in a way, we're all actors. So I'm going to take the liberty to pretend to be, for a moment, a candidate for elected office and do that little thing they do and slip the piece of paper out of my pocket very surreptitiously and take my glasses surreptitiously and read. I'd like to begin by pointing out that this is solid. We have physical space that is ours. And we have a community. The community of the Lark is you. It's us in this room. It's the people on the second floor watching us. And it's the people out there in the world streaming, getting the streaming. It's been 18 years. And everybody here helped make it happen. The board, the artists, the major donors, Bruce Cohen and the production team, Stephen Fernstall and the building project team, the amazing Lark staff led by John and Michael. I found myself thinking today, if I have no idea why, about Mel Brooks' good news, bad news routine. The good news for the Lark is there is no bad news. The bad news for the Lark is that the last 18 years is a hard act to follow. This dedication celebrates 18 years of great success, and it's also about recommitting ourselves to continued learning, to service, revitalizing theater, and to healing the world. Peter Brook's comment about his own Midsummer Night's Dream fits here as we rededicate this center for playwrights. The play is mysterious, and it can only be deeply understood through the complexity of human love. From the inside and the outside, that's been John Eisner's dream. And who and what the Lark Play Development Center is that. To heal the world, to revitalize theater, and to build community. To make the first presentation tonight, I'd like to introduce my fellow board member, former Pony Fellow, and the author of Mountaintop, Katori Hall.
Hi there, everybody. I'm here at our community column, and I'm so happy to be dedicating this amazing, amazing moment right now in Lark history. The community column was designed by artist Chris Muller, and it represents the Lark's bond with the artists and audiences that have supported it ever since 1994. Can you believe it? We've been in this for the long haul, and I'm just so happy to be here. Now, the people whose names are on the wall, they gave to our 5 Drive campaign. That was when we were trying to raise money for our new space, which we are in right now. You know, this is a wall that represents that no donation is too small. Even the smallest amounts help every artist fly. Now, I'm a Lark baby through and through. I have been here from the very beginning of my career. I started in the Playwrights Workshop, which was led by Arthur Kopit, and page by page, inch by inch, every Monday night, I learned how to be true to myself. I learned how to be an artist, and I learned how to fly. I am so blessed that I am a part of an organization that knows that every voice deserves to be heard, every story deserves to be told, and every artist deserves a pair of wings to fly. Now, I'm going to pass you off to the amazing Jennifer Dora White. She's a wonderful person, my friend. She's a part of many Lark programs. She was in the Lark's very first show. She's a part of the literary wing, and she's a member of the artistic cabinet. And for y'all who don't know, she is John Eisner's wife. There you go, Jennifer. Dora Wright, take it away to the history wall.
Thank you, Katori. Today we're dedicating the Lark History Project, and that was designed by artist Chris Muller and constructed by our intern Tamara Della Rosso. And I just want to say, Tam has done the most astonishing job. I've been watching her build it for the past couple of weeks, and it's just incredible. And the reason I've been given the honor of introducing this timeline is because I have been here for all 18 years of the Lark's history so far. I am still here. And in fact, I was actually here for an event that predates this timeline, which was the naming of the Lark, which happened in my living room. That's a story I'm going to tell later on this evening when Giovanna and I look at the timeline in a little more detail. Now, the Lark History Project is going to be created by our entire community. We know there are literally thousands of artists and audience members who all have memories and special remembrances about the Lark. And this is a place where you can write down a memory, you can bring a photo or a program or a newspaper clipping, you can do it online or you can do it in person. And we're going to compile it into an archive of the history of the Lark, put things up on the display here and rotate them, and have a great archive at the end of all of it. I'm going to show you a couple of places that already exist here that are really important to me. This is a photo that I knew existed. I could not find it in our apartment, and Tam found it in a box. This is the first production that we ever did. It's Cardboard Angel. I forgot that I had short hair at the time. Here I am with Bill Mischie and Kevin Nova Davis, and all three of the Lark's co-founders, of course, were involved in the first production. It was written by John Heath Stewart. It was directed by John Clinton Eisner, and the set was designed by Larry Gruber, who is here tonight. And several years later, I did a production that's one of the most important I've ever done, and it was all developed here at the Lark, and that was Peripalas. We did the Playwrights Week version in '97, and then the Bare Bones later in '97, and then the off-Broadway production in '98. And here is a photo that I brought from '99 with Stephen Williford, one of my very best friends whom I brought to the Lark, and Sinan Unel. Stephen directed it. Sinan, of course, was the writer. And Sinan came to the Lark through our open admissions, submissions, I should say, program. He just submitted his play, we read it, we loved it, and here he is. So we hope all of you here celebrating with us tonight, both in this space and online, and everyone who's been part of the Lark community has a chance to come here and bring your artifacts and souvenirs and photos and posters. But right now, I'm going to give you to David Henry Hwang, who is one of America's leading playwrights. Most recently, his play Chinglish, which was developed here at the Lark, was on Broadway and is soon going to be a feature film. He has been with us at the Lark since 1994, working on school tours at the beginning. He's worked here as a playwright, as a mentor to other playwrights. He's been a huge champion of our international programs, and now he's on the Board of Trustees. David Henry Hwang.
I feel so lucky that I get to dedicate the Lark Mission Wall. You know, I've always believed that it's important to know your history and that it's the stories from the past that help you understand where you are today and envision your future. So this mission wall is not only a tribute to those who helped make this space possible, but those who have sustained the Lark from 1994 until today. You know, theater can't exist, of course, without imagination and passion, but we also need a space and funding, and without those, the Lark and artists like myself can't do our work. Mid-career artists like me, I think, first started coming here because we thought, oh, we'll help mentor the younger artists. And then at a certain point, we decided we want some of that too. And this was the best place where we could develop our own work and have control of it until we're ready to let it go out to the theaters. So the Lark is special because you've seen from the history wall, it's got a special history, and the history wall embraces change, and it's smart and it's flexible. The mission wall, however, celebrates the things that don't change about the Lark, our core values and our mission, as we are a community of artists, and we reaffirm our commitment to the ideals of respect, trust, and joy in the creative process. So I want to join everyone in the community to thank the Lark's board, past and present, who are listed here, and the donors who have sustained us from 1994 until 2012. Your enthusiasm, support, and will always be remembered here. And here it says, our home on West 43rd Street, dedicated April 26, 2012. And now I have the pleasure of introducing the Vice President of the Board, a core part of the Lark since we were housed in a dumpy little space above a Radio Shack on West 23rd Street where she was an actress. She created the role of the Managing Director, which is now being played so well by our beloved Michael Robertson. And she also runs the Chesapeake Shakespeare Company in Baltimore. To dedicate the Steve and Joanne Malin Writers' Room, please welcome Leslie Malin.
I've been part of the Lark since 1995 when it was on 23rd Street in one crummy room above a Radio Shack, and then when it alighted on 8th Avenue in another crummy little room, and then 2 overcrowded rooms, and then 5 rooms teeming with larks. So to be here today in this beautiful space created just for the Lark and its playwrights and artists is just extraordinarily moving. I've watched with enormous pleasure and pride the growth of the Lark as it went quietly, creatively, supportively about its work of serving playwrights and their plays. How wonderful to see it recognized now as an enormously positive force in the theater community in America and the world. Today, I am delighted that the Lark is dedicating the Stephen and Joanne Malin Writers' Room. This beautiful room is here to remind us of the central and fundamental place the playwright has at the Lark, and to express the idea that the Lark will always be a sanctuary for writers to explore their voices. I am here today with my family, my husband, Scott Helm, who has been one of the Lark's most importantly quiet advocates, our son Addison, and my parents, Stephen and Joanne. My parents have spent their lives nurturing theaters, plays, playwrights, theater artists, students, and audiences. My father, Steve, who served as a professor of theater at the University of Memphis for over 40 years, founded the playwriting program there, where he fostered hundreds of new voices, as well as developing his own as a poet. And you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone in theater in Memphis who hasn't been directed by, acted with, taught by, or managed by my mother. Their lives are a testament to the fact that even far from this center of the theatrical universe here in New York, people are still changed by the power of the art of theater. When I found the Lark, and of course John Eisner, I found a place with the theater values and life values that my parents had always espoused. Love for the craft of theater, respect for the artist, generosity, smart choices, delight in the unexpected, joy in creativity, hard work, lots of hard work, kindness, the beauty of the well-chosen word, drama on stage, not backstage, the wisdom of diversity, the necessity for community, the belief that theater and plays can transform the way we see and understand ourselves and our humanity. It seems only appropriate that Joe and Steve, who followed these standards all their lives, now have a permanent connection to this place that deeply honors those same values as well. It means the world to me to be able to dedicate this space to my parents, Stephen and Joanne Malin.
For Joe and me, this event is a deeply gratifying one. To be honored in a place dedicated to so much of what has long occupied our own hearts, and for this to come about through the kindness and generosity of our most loved ones, these things afford an occasion unparalleled in our lives. Leslie and Scott, thank you. We are also grateful for this moment to say these things in public, in this place, a place where many others surely join our wish that the Lark, in its new incarnation, may have a flight of unprecedented length with songs of unqualified splendor. Thank you.
And now I'm delighted to have us all return to the Barebones studio where our beloved president of the board, Colin Greer, will be talking a little more. Over to you, Colin.
We're going to part two. We're going to part two. Second piece of paper. So we're moving on to the ribbon cutting ceremony, which in Lark fashion will be extraordinarily participatory, which means you will help cut the ribbon that dedicates and opens this space. And therefore it won't be a single ribbon, it will be multiple ribbons that you will participate in opening. Cutting, but not quite cutting. And joining me tonight in leading you and us in this ceremony, I'd like to invite up here Kathy Hughes, the Assistant Commissioner at the Department of Cultural Affairs. Kathy. You came too soon. And Danielle Porcaro, New York City Speaker Christy Quinn's Cultural Liaison. You all have the ribbons in your hands. We are going to count you down from 1 to 3. And as we do that, we'll join together. And as Puck might say, lend me your hands. 1, join me. 2, 3.
So what you just opened up was a proclamation from the City Council Speaker and the Mayor. You guys can all read that when you get home later. I'll say some other remarks for you. So on behalf of the City Council Speaker, Christine Quinn, she's very sorry she could not be here this evening. She truly, really wanted to come. On behalf of her and myself, I want to congratulate the staff, board, and artists of the Lark Theater. We are so lucky in New York City to have a mayor, Department of Cultural Affairs commissioner, and city council who truly understands arts and culture in our city, and who gets who the Lark is and why it is so important. Even in this tough economy, it's really important to support artists, keep them here, keep them working here, and the Lark does that so well. Diversity and growth and culture is New York City, and the Lark is New York City, and so it's just fabulous to have them here, making New York what it is and keeping New York City the cultural capital of the world. I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate with all of you guys. I was here when this was literally bare bones, and to see it here today is just amazing. So congratulations to everyone, and thank you so much for having us.
So today is truly a momentous occasion for 2 reasons. The one which brings all of us to this room, and another which, since you are theater people, you may not know about. This is the 10th anniversary of something called Poem in Your Pocket Day, which is a Department of Cultural Affairs initiative. And so I have tried mightily to link these 2 momentous occasions with a poem. And I am thrilled to learn that your father is also a poet. It's not easy to do this. Poems about larks, of which there are more than you might think, all seemed kind of trite. And the videos we've been getting leading up to today have featuring many of the people in this room already had about almost every version of the bird analogy woven into them that you could imagine. So I thought about playwrights and about their role in our society and in our community and about our times, and of course about the Lark. The Lark, which through the development of this egalitarian, spacious, vibrant center is giving a much needed home and a home away from home to the artists in this room and lots of playwrights who are seeing us, whatever this is called, virtually, and to those who will actually follow, those of you in this room. I wouldn't have thought that it was possible to simultaneously be soothing and stimulating. But the space that's been created here really is both of those things. It's part refuge and part change agent. The New York City Department of Cultural Affairs is proud of our support, not only that went towards equipping the space, but also of our contribution towards Lark's truly extraordinary day-to-day work, from the fellowship program to the Festival of New Plays to the Lucky Duck, sorry, I had to, who gets housing for a year. In typical fashion, the Lark people would rather I talk about playwrights and how important you are, but I must take a moment to acknowledge the passion that John and Michael and everyone at the Lark have for what they do and how they have realized they're out there. And how they've realized this amazing facility as a result of that passion and wanting simply to be in the service of the playwright. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And so, channeling my inner Mark Rylance, and is there a playwright in the room who wouldn't want to be writing what he's doing next, although what he's doing next is actually a collaboration with the poet Louis Jenkins. See, it all sort of stitches together. I share with you this poem by Bronx-born and Penn and Gertrude Stein Award recipient Donald Revelle. It's entitled Election Year. A jet of mere phantom is a brook, as the land around turns rocky and hollow. Those airplane sounds are the drowning of bicyclists. Leaping, a bridesmaid leaps. You asked for my autobiography. Imagine a green clicking sound of hummingbirds in a dry wood, and there you'd have it. Other birds pour over the walls now. I'd never suspected. Every day, although the nation is done for, I find new flowers. Playwrights are our mirrors and our optimists, even when they are at their most pessimistic. I am proud as a peacock that the Lark Play Development Center has created this new space for their work. On behalf of the City of New York, thank you, Lark, and congratulations.
And so now, as you might guess, the play is the thing. We're back to our groups. Look for your leaders. Follow the colors. Back to the plays. Thank you all very, very much.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. We're nearing the end of the race, and I'm happy for all of you marathoners. I heard another fact. Today's celebration coincides with Audubon Day. Audubon Day. I heard that from Maria Cristina. So it's Bird Day, and we didn't even plan it. So that has to do with spontaneity. So for those of you who don't know it, I'm John Eisner. I'm the lyric in some of the songs. We have a Dutch playwright who invited me to see a play in this very big theater in the Netherlands, and I fell asleep in about 10 minutes because it was in Dutch until I heard my name because I was a character. So I've tried not to do that anymore. We're in mile 25.9, so I'm just going to say we're nearing the end of the race. This is the metaphor. Remember that. There's one last thing to do. I'd like to publicly recognize the person who made this space come together over the past 2 years. It's been a marathon, and I know from experience that there is such a thing as a runner's high, but I also know that every mile, especially every footstep near the end, can really test your heart and soul. But Michael Robertson, our managing director, Michael Robertson has led us across the finish line in style, in more ways than one. And I'm really happy that he's here. We thought that the appropriate way to recognize you was as an Olympian. an Olympic medal winner. So.
I don't have any notes.
That never stopped you.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Breathe. Thank you. Thank you. I was downstairs at the virtual party. We have a parallel party going on. And they're watching everything now. Hi, parallel party. Hello. Hi, people. And I made a toast down there at the beginning of the evening, and I quoted, actually, Anna Cull. Where's Anna? Hi, Anna. So, you know, we think really big at the Lark. We do lots of planning. We've implemented 2 week-long staff retreats a year, because we feel like the failure of the not-for-profit sector is that there's not a lot of planning. We all say we're too busy and we don't have enough money and we can't. But if art is really going to serve the purpose that it is, which is to change the world, you have to think about that, right? You have to plan. And so we were coming up with some language of who we are and sort of what we do and why we exist. And Anna says, you know what? Because we were talking about our international reach and sort of how do we describe who we are. And Anna says, and sorry, Parallel Party, you heard this earlier. We exist in New York, but we belong to the world. And I found that so powerful that in one nugget, she really encapsulated the reach of the vision of John Clinton Eisner and the Lark Play Development Center. We don't make good plays. We're hoping to make good community out of good dialogue, out of good debate, out of conflict, out of conversation, and that's why we exist as an institution. This is a play development center, but it's really a community building center. And without the community, which all of you are a part of, this would not be possible. So I just want to throw back the medal right now to John. Because while I had a suspicion he was going to thank me, I am completely moved, and I would not do what I do. I would not have learned terminology about construction and various things I don't know that Stephen, our architect, taught me if I didn't love John's vision and I didn't love the artists that he attracts, because he really does. Everything that we do is in process, which means it's unfinished. And to the world, that can mean it's not good. But actually, in our unfinishedness, we are amazing. The actors, the directors, the stage managers, the playwrights, everyone who's involved is really amazing, and you can't develop plays if you don't have a really good team. So I just want to turn this back to the man whose vision this all belongs to, which is John Eisner. So you're getting a medal.
But we live in we have a philosophy of abundance here. So there's one last thing, which is, and we can start to bring those things in, you guys. Everyone at this event is part of what makes the Lark work, and because you all help make this space possible, and because everyone who runs in a marathon deserves a medal, we want to present each one of you with one for your help and your support, because everyone here is a winner. Thank you, congratulations, and enjoy the. Did something blow up? We almost made it. Anyway, so I'd like you to, we're going to do this again. Ceremoniously, put your medals on. Thank you all.